When Yosef Al-Hasnawi was shot in the stomach, he didn't bleed, and the wound didn't look serious. A dispatcher was told he had been hit with a BB gun. This is Christopher Marchant in the red tie and Steve Snively wearing a hat and tie behind him. The paramedics going into court today. Court heard they wanted to take their patient Al-Hasnawi to St. Joseph's Hospital, not a trauma hospital, because he seemed to be having a psychiatric episode and had a rapid heartbeat. Here is Marchant talking to the hospital from the ambulance.
A 19-year-old male patient who was shot in the abdomen with a pellet gun. He's got a small penetrating wound to his lower abdomen that's controlled. The reason why we're coming on a CTAS-2 is patient's tachycardic at about 145 and extremely altered. Friends and family deny any drugs or alcohol, although he's acting extremely confused.
A few minutes later, Marchant called the hospital back to say the patient was declining rapidly. Al-Hasnawi died about 20 minutes after arriving at the hospital. Dispatcher Janice McMeekin testified today about filing a complaint about the paramedics before her shift was over that night. Court heard the 911 call center was busy and short-staffed with only 5 of 10 employees in for the shift. McMeekin was frustrated the paramedics prevented her from answering other calls when they kept asking why the Al-Hasnawi call was a code 4, the highest alert, when they thought he only had a surface wound. Then she learned Al-Hasnawi had died. The next day, McMeekin called Marchant back at the ambulance station to complain personally. That call was also recorded.
Well, I mean, even like when we pulled up on scene, the police were there, the fire department was there, and everyone was just standing around this guy, and the fire department had a flashlight, just a flashlight on him. Nobody was doing a thing for this guy because nobody believed it was serious. And that was where the issue was. Wow. Because his vital signs were perfect. Everything was perfect on this kid other than why is he acting like a dickhead is what he was acting like.
19-year-old Yosef Al-Hasnawi died from a .22 caliber bullet that had been fired from a handgun. The shooter, Dale King, was acquitted of second-degree murder last year, but the Crown is appealing that verdict. This trial on whether the paramedics failed to provide the necessaries of life resumes tomorrow. Lisa Hepfner, CHCH News.